But there is this small amount of formalization that is taking place is certainly slowing down the free migration which was taking place. Think about the police verification system. There is one case of crime or a gender harassment, you immediately find 2 or 3 slums in the neighboring area being evicted if it is noted that one of the slum dwellers were involved. The placement agencies for the domestic help is also slowing down. You find that the percentage of poor, you'll be surprised, in Delhi when Mr. Bush used to be the DDA chairperson, was about 56%. 56% of the people in Delhi were below poverty line. The latest NSS data for 2012-13 shows Delhi has only 9% of the people below poverty line. All the metropolitan cities, million-plus cities, have only 12%. This is again official statistics. Only 12% of the population living below poverty line, whereas overall urban poverty is still around 30% by Tendulkar's calculations. So basically we find the labor market has become gradually hostile to the unskilled workers who are just moving out of the rural economy trying to seek absorption. Anybody just coming in is not in a position to put his or her foothold in the urban economy. Quickly, let me talk about the land market. You see, this is a very important area for the planners. We talked about planning, master plans from the 50s and the 60s. But as a student and a teacher, I've heard about master plans more in the context of violation than in the context of compliance. There's a general understanding the master plans are useless. They are only capturing the physical dimensions. They do not take the social, economic, cultural dynamics of the city into consideration. And that's why we need only vision documents. So we prepare vision documents which lays down the broad contours and leave the details where the project will be located, what kind of activity, what kind of infrastructure, leave it to the stakeholders. And what does the stakeholder means? Those who are putting in money and those who have the land. Of course, you can get some leaders of the slums to come and make a fiery speech, but ultimately the decisions are being left to the stakeholders, quote unquote, those who are putting in money. I remember I was once in Marne Valley near Paris. It's a new city coming up, and the regional planner, Mr. Philippe Cadin, showed me the master plan. I said, my God, this is the capitalist country. You still have master plans? He said, why? You don't have? I said, well, we do have master plans, but generally master plans are static. They don't really capture the dynamics, he said. And I said, there are violations. Most of the industries get located outside the industrial zone. He was absolutely stunned. He said, I said, doesn't it happen in France? He said, what are you talking? If the area is not meant for industries, how can an industrialist go and locate there? He would never ask for a permission. I'm talking about a capitalist development. He said, master plans have some amount of flexibility, but master plans are being respected. They have to be respected. But now we are moving away a little bit from there and saying that no, we can only prepare vision documents, and getting land in the urban areas have become much more difficult than before. There is politicization around land acquisition. Every political party thought that if they oppose land acquisition, that is a vote-winning strategy. They went in quickly for that new act, Transparency in the Land Acquisition Act, which has made land acquisition extremely expensive. The compensation has to go up 4 times in the rural area. There has to be rehabilitation. Some plot of land is to be given. Now what will happen is that industries which are capital intensive, which are not labor intensive and land intensive, will be located in the big cities. The small towns will not have you cannot procure massive amount of land to permit the labor intensive and land intensive industries. My calculations tell me that by 2050, there will be 430 million people who will be asking for jobs. They are entering the labor force because of the demographic dividend. You cannot absorb them in the management sector or in the high-level technological sector. You have to create jobs for 430 million in agro-based small and medium scale industries in the small and medium towns. That kind of vision of urbanization has to be there. The country will face instability if you are not in a position to find out employment for 430 million people. And what kind of urban centers do we need? Yes, we need smart cities. We need smart cities that can absorb this population and maintain the labor productivity and increase labor productivity. There has to be improvement in labor productivity through land market, capital market, and labor market reforms. But you cannot slow down the movement of people to the urban areas through the exclusionary policies. You have, perhaps the large cities would not accommodate. You have to create a large number of small and medium towns across the region and make the big cities little more absorptive in terms of the migration of the informal sector. I think the young planners and architects of this country, you have to think about how do you make the dream that I have presented before you, that Asia will regain its position which it had before 300 years. That is the prediction made by ADB, that Asia will again regain its stature. India will regain its stature. That requires really smart cities. And the smart cities are those which are just not having high level of labor productivity, capital productivity and land productivity, but also have the absorptive capacity to take these 430 million people in the labor force. Not all of them have to come to the rural area, urban areas. They have to come to the small and medium town. Many of them will be absorbed in the rural economy. But the kind of interdependency that we need between rural and urban areas is something that the smart cities have to provide. That's the kind of thought that I would like to leave with you. And I hope in the course of deliberation, you would also come back with certain ideas. And I look forward to receiving your views and your suggestions in this regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. There is no doubt that a convention on the theme City for All would have been incomplete without the discourse on the subject by you. It is now time for Thanksgiving, and for this, I request the convener of this convention, Professor Vinayak Chaudhary, HOD Planning, to kindly come up and do the honors.
I want to compliment Professor Kundu for, I think, an absolutely brilliant speech that he's given. A brilliant analysis of the position. Basically, he supported what the National Commission on Urbanization had said in 1987. Basically, there is an equilibrium of settlements in this country, from village right up to the metropolitan scene. What the Commission had said was, there are 349 towns in India, of which only 4 are metropolitan, which have a potential for growth. And that any future urban policy must concentrate on developing these towns in such a way that they become regional centers of growth and have a distinct interaction with their hinterland. And I think he's brought this point out brilliantly by empirical work, which he's accused me of never been doing. I just wanted to congratulate you, sir, for setting in, for the first time giving a concept of smart cities to which one can relate. These are not smart in terms of people wearing 3-piece suits and lovely designer clothes. These are smart because they perform a certain function. That function is not a unifunction. It's a function, but basically it's a function by which you provide jobs. And I'll give you one small example from Gujarat. In the state of Gujarat, after they separated the agriculture feeder from the normal feeder and gave 24 hours supply on the normal feeder, in the district of Bhavnagar, in more than 180 villages, people have set up diamond cutting lathes and equipment in houses. So there are individual households in 180 villages in that district which are now doing diamond cutting. So the Bhavnagar district is now the biggest diamond cutting center in the world. It's overtaken even Surat. Now, these are the kind of initiatives that will come up if you provide the correct kind of infrastructure in your towns. Thank you, Professor Kundu, and for educating me.
Hello. Friends, what a wonderful morning it had been. Finally, 16 NOSPlan took off, and what a taking off it was. We took off, before we took off, we had a holy bath in the Triveni Sangam. I call it Triveni because Dr. Meshram was supposed to come, and as you know, in the Triveni, the Saraswati flows underneath. So we can perhaps consider for the timing Dr. Meshram as the river Saraswati. We had a holy bath in this Triveni Sangam. Two eminent people have been with us. Both of them are known by their eminence, and it was evident from their speech that we had. I, on behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of my students and my friends, profusely thank Booth sir and Professor Kundu. I also take this opportunity to thank all the directors of the participating institutes, the heads of departments, for constantly being with us since the day it was announced that we will be hosting the NOSPlan. I also take this opportunity to congratulate and thank our sponsors. Namely, there are a host of sponsors: Canara Bank, State Bank of India, NBCC, CPWD, Bhopal Municipal Corporation, and lot of others. So we are deeply thankful to them. I'm also thankful to other people who have been with us, right from the person who has made this beautiful makeshift arrangement for us for this convention. It has been a wonderful morning, and again I thank all of you for making this happen. And so it is now time for Gargi to announce the next course of event that will follow. Thank you once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request everyone to rise for the national anthem first.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
And with this, we conclude the inaugural session of 16th NOSPlan Convention, Samavesh 2014. With the convention formally declared open, I now request the dignitaries to please proceed for the inauguration of the exhibition of the event Current Practices to mark the formal opening of academic events. All participating teams for the event Current Practices may kindly accompany the dignitaries to the exhibition area. All other participants and unit coordinators are requested to stay back at this venue where announcements related to some academic events will be made shortly. Thank you.